you have sealant that's on the outside, that stuff usually lasts, especially in the heat, it's going to last a couple of years, maybe 3, 4. And then as you start to get a little older, that stuff starts to crack. And when it cracks, it allows water in. Water damages all of these things, right? As time goes on, the longer you wait to do this maintenance, all of that stuff is eventually going to cause problems, and it's going to cause things to cost a lot more than they would if you just did the maintenance. Lately, as I've been doing inspections throughout the last, few months, it's always kind of the same thing. And I've been kind of preaching about this for years. One of the things that's so important when you're a homeowner is maintenance. Seeing people that don't do their air conditioning and heating maintenance and the damage it can cause. I mean, you got to think about it. These systems are very expensive. Your siding system, whether or not it's stucco, wood, fiber cement, they all require maintenance. And what I've noticed the most is when people buy new homes and they figure, okay, well, I got a brand new home. I don't need to worry about any of these things. And then 10 years later, they think, oh, okay, we're going to sell now. We're going to move on to a different place. And then they think, man, I just bought this brand new home. Everything was supposed to be good or whatever the case may be. And then they find out all of these things have problems that they didn't maintenance, right? So from the very beginning, whether or not you're buying a used home, somebody's been in it before, whatever it is, you get your home inspection, everything's done. And then, you kind of go about your business. Or if you're buying a brand new home that's never been lived in, everything's new, you don't have to worry about it. You need to still do the maintenance on the regular intervals that everyone suggests. So for example, on your HVAC system, air conditioning and heating, you want to have an air conditioning and heating technician come out at least once a year. And what they're going to do is they're going to check to make sure everything's functioning properly. On some of these newer systems, there's leaks that can occur that can cause damage to the actual unit itself, or it can cause damage to the surroundings. You want to do maintenance on the exterior. Sealants and all of these things that seal up your home. For example, if you have fiber cement siding, that stuff's super resilient. It lasts a long time, but they're still using wood trim. Any of the trim on the outside of the corners or around posts, whether or not you have a newer home or older home, stucco, any of those. If you have sealant that's on the outside, that stuff usually lasts, especially in the heat, it's going to last a couple of years, maybe 3, 4. And then as you start to get a little older, that stuff starts to crack. And when it cracks, it allows water in. Water damages all of these things, right? So as time goes on, the longer you wait to do this maintenance, all of that stuff is eventually going to cause problems, and it's going to cause things to cost a lot more than they would if you just did the maintenance. A tube of sealants, depending on what grade you get, if you get a good outdoor sealant, it's about $5. And then your caulking gun and all that, and it's a day's worth of your time maybe to go around your house and do some of the sealing and things that need to be done. What's going to end up happening is that $5, $10 of material and maybe a day's worth of your time is going to end up costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on the situation. One little section of dry rot might cost you a couple $1,000s to fix that, or maybe $500 to $1,000, but whatever it is, think about it that way. A side door that you see the paint's worn on, sand it down and paint it. Get a little can of paint from Home Depot, might cost you $15, but if you have to replace that door, it might cost you $1,000 because it's rotted. All of these things basically just come down to the same thing. Don't put off the maintenance. It's very important. And the whole point of that, again, is because it'll end up saving you money later.
I think people don't intentionally ignore their maintenance. They see it and then they're like, oh man, I need to get to it. And it goes in the back of their head, right? And then they continue on with their day, their livelihood, and it's busy. Everybody's busy nowadays, and then they forget. And then they notice something else. Oh man, I need to do it. They forget. They put it on the back. They continue on. And then by the time you know it, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years go by, it's like, oh my gosh, all these things I was supposed to do, right? And it adds up. I'm sharing based off of experience because that's what I do. That's why I hire people like Charles to come and check my house.
If you don't have time because you're a busy person, totally understandable, right? Then in those cases, when people are super busy, they don't have time for things, they typically end up having to hire people to get things done, and that's fine. Even if you're going to pay for the maintenance to be done now, it's still going to cost you less to pay for the repair later because you didn't maintenance it. Just get on a regular schedule, hire somebody that'll come out every year, that'll get on a schedule and come out to your home to clean your gutters, seal any of your joints and your wall penetrations, things like that, maintenance your air conditioning and heating system. If you don't have time, or you don't have the ladder to get up and change your filter, or you don't have the time to go up into the attic, or you don't want to, hire somebody to do it. Just don't put it off, because even the cost of hiring somebody is still going to be cheaper than the cost of repair, for sure.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope to see you guys next time, all right? Peace out. We're going to close it up here. Thanks for watching.